The lawyer who claimed it was his job to get rid of anti-woke gamers is now working for former Kotaku editor Alyssa Mercante and her lawsuit against YouTuber Smash JT. I wrote this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. I encourage you to head on over there, become a paid subscriber, help us fight back against this woke ideology that is literally trying to destroy people's lives and ruin them, as Alyssa Mercante, who is infected with the woke mind virus, is trying to do to Smash JT. So this guy here, Don McGowan, he was a lawyer who worked for Bungie and the Pokemon Company, and he claimed it was his job to get rid of anti-woke gamers, and he is now working for former Kotaku editor Alyssa Mercante. If you recall, I covered this back on That Park Place back in March, but obviously that was a number of months ago, so even I kind of didn't connect the dots right away. But he did write this at the time. He says, my real name is trivially easy to locate, but just so it's clear, I am Don McGowan. I spent 12 years as the chief legal officer of Pokemon, and I'm now the general counsel of Bungie. He wrote this back in September 2022, confirming that this @legalminimum account is indeed him. If you try to find this account on X, it is locked down already. I think he locked it down after he got raked over the coals for these posts here that he, ironically enough, was taking the side of Alyssa Mercante and responding to her thread that she posted back in March. And she posted this here. She says, if you aren't sure this is a harassment campaign, just take a look at the content. Look at how many sock puppet accounts flock to comment on posts. Look at the language in those comments. Look at the images they're sharing, the way they're manipulating pictures of women. And he reacted to this by not only admitting he wants to remove anti-woke gamers, but accused them of being racist and sexist. He said this, thread, 20 years in games. He said this, thread, 20 years in games, 17 in the C-suite, so I'm well situated to say these people blaming one consultancy for everything they don't like are again demonstrating they know nothing about the subject they purport to be discussing. They are sexist and racist. No one was really blaming Sweet Baby Inc. for everything. That is a straw man, a 100% lie. I think people realize that obviously Sweet Baby Inc. is a massive problem, still is a massive problem, but a lot of the stuff that Sweet Baby Inc. is pushing is also being institutionalized at a lot of these developers. And it's the ideology. It's the ideology that is really the problem, and it obviously has infected Sweet Baby Inc. They want to push it. They've made that very clear, and obviously it's infected companies such as Bungie as well. Anyways, let's continue here. Next, he claimed that developers don't want to make games for gamers. He wrote this, and it never occurs to them that the reason nobody made games for them was because nobody wanted to make those kinds of games. Nobody wants your money because no one wants you in their environment. Take it from someone most of whose job was figuring out ways to get rid of you. So there you have it. He literally says he was trying to get rid of anti-woke gamers from the video game industry. And he was saying that people weren't making games for anti-woke gamers. It's utterly ridiculous. The woke ideology didn't really kind of gain any steam, I would say, until around maybe the 2016, 2017 timeframe, and obviously has really hit into high gear in recent years because all those games that went into development then are now coming out. Just look at Dragon Age: The Veilguard, right? That game was in development for, what, a decade? So that's like around 2014. So if you want to go back a little bit further. And that is kind of where we saw a lot of the comic book stuff taking off with the Marvel Now initiative and all that stuff, where they were doing all of the race replacing of their characters, such as Captain America, Iron Man, etc., with Ironheart and all that stuff, Sam Wilson, etc. Anyways, he goes on and says, trust and safety departments exist to get a-holes out of the gaming environment. You end up creating them to get rid of a-holes because adult humans don't want to spend their leisure time with a-holes. You're a gamer gator, F off, you child. Nobody wants your money. Go spend it on, you can read it there. I don't suggest you do that. You should not be doing that. It's absolutely degenerate. And we are opposed to degeneracy in all of its forms. This stuff actually rewires your brain. There's significant studies on it that it makes your brain act like a child, and it literally makes you stupid. So if you don't want to be stupid, stop watching that stuff. Don't engage in it. Anyways, he goes on here and then kind of takes a shot at Mark Kern, uses this guy, Rami Ismail, who is a Muslim activist and a co-founder of Lambier. And Ismail said, so the Gamergate ex-dev grifter is back claiming crap about forced diversity, leading to funding. And let me tell you, not even once in my life have I worked on or with any title that had an easier time getting funding because it was different, diverse, inclusive, or equitable. This is obviously a lie. We know this to be the case because you literally have the people that are funding this stuff. And what is that guy's name? I don't even remember. I can't remember what his name is right now. But he literally says we're going to force behaviors, and the behaviors that he wants to force is all the DEI initiatives. Obviously, he's trying to pivot to to how they're calling it all this stuff. They're changing the name. It's still doing the same stuff. I think Larry Fink is the guy's name, right? Runs BlackRock. So this is all a bunch of BS, right? Like all this stuff is documented. So I don't even know why he's trying to gaslight this stuff. We have all of the documentation, the evidence that proves that this is just not true. And this guy who is a lawyer, you would think is dedicated to the truth, clearly not, saying that this guy lying has nailed it, which he didn't. Anyways, he goes on and says this, by the way, if you're effing crying about the fact that I'm telling you to eat crap, think about why you're such a person that the producer of Detective Pikachu thinks you are human garbage and maybe work on being less crappy. So, just doesn't even really make a lot of sense trying to say that just because you're the producer of Detective Pikachu means that he's right and you're wrong and you're a piece of crap there. Like, it's just bizarre. Doesn't make any sense. Just because you happen to be the producer of Detective Pikachu doesn't mean you're not a bad person. It's just wild. Like, that doesn't make, like, I don't even know how that thinking comes across. It just doesn't make sense at all. Anyways, he goes on though. He's continuing, right? You complain about bubbles, but you're living in the biggest one. You dorks sit around self-reinforcing that you're somehow not human garbage. Get your moms to give you more allowance and buy a clue. I have to say, I'm almost impressed with the one person who quote tweeted the original tweet and also screenshotted it in case I blocked him so he could have forever proof that he is a dork and no one intelligent agrees with him. I mean, I still blocked him because dork. So then this guy is just completely like spiraling here. Ad hominems to the max. He's not even really making any points here. He's just upset that people are pointing out what he said. And then I didn't actually include this in my original coverage, and so I don't have the screenshots. I don't know why I didn't do this, but he did write this too. He pointed to this interview with Aftermath to try and make him to make it show that like I have the authority, like the appeal to authority. Okay. And then he said this though. What's the old rule about not showing tolerance to people who are themselves intolerant? That one. That's what you see in this thread in my responses. No, I'm not interested in debate. No, I don't care if you think I'm a bully. Get back in your effing lockers. This thread is giving my block finger a good workout. He then says he doesn't want to hear the truth. Sure, dork, what you believe isn't true. What people aren't allowed to disagree. Have at it, champ. I just don't care about your opinion. So I think this guy made it pretty clear. I mean, he's obviously creating arguments here and responding to them. This guy is clearly ideologically captured. He doesn't actually care about the truth. And I think he admits it right here. He does not care about what the truth is. He doesn't care about the fact that men are men and they can't become women, because you see that right here in his little handle. He thinks that men can become women and women can become men. So this is a person who has a very damaged mind. That he cannot see basic truths, and it shows that he lacks the moral judgment to make sound choices. But this is the person who Alyssa Mercante has hired. He's listed here on her lawsuit against Smash JT. Lane Haygood, Don McGowan, and then J. Remy Green, which I will look into this guy too, because I think this person is a very suspect as well. But Don McGowan here, the guy who literally said he wanted to get anti-woke people out of the video game industry, is working with Alyssa Mercante to sue Smash JT. Cannot make this stuff up here, folks. These people are connected. They are all about the ideology, and they are going to fight. They're going to fight to the very last breath. This is going to be a long fight. These people are not going to go away silently. The woke has not actually been defeated, has not been put away. I've been saying this over and over and over again, sharing reports with you that these companies aren't putting it away. These people aren't going away. They're just burrowing in even deeper. And I think they're going to be even more sneaky about how they do this. I think what you're going to see is stuff what's happening in Skeleton Crew, where they're going to try and normalize these degenerate LGBTQ plus disordered relationships, try to make that look like it is something that is normal and good when it is not. And it's going to be in the background, and they're going to slowly creep it in. That is what they're going to do now, because obviously we have rejected it being upfront and in our faces, and we don't want that stuff. So they're going to go back to the slow creep, and you have to be aware that this is going to happen. You have to draw the line. You have to say, this is unacceptable. You can't just be like, oh, well, I wouldn't have even noticed that. Well, that's the point, right? Because they want you not to notice it. They want you to they want it to be normalized. And they're going to be doing that. And they're also obviously going to be taking people to court to try to silence them for opposing their evil ideology. And that's really what this is all about, in my opinion. That's really what this lawsuit is all about. It's all about trying to silence Smash JT because he is opposed to the ideology of wokeness. And that is what I have to say there. So let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. What do you make of Alyssa Mercante hiring this guy, Don McGowan, to be her lawyer to try to silence Smash JT? Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.